they got that finger on lip dog. I'm empty out the magazine when I'm pissed off. When the play, it got me geek. My bitch said it twice and then she went to sleep.
Ill will. Now, I typically would say here again today, but it's been a nice long minute since I've been posting consistently. I'm sorry. You know, there's been some things going on. I've been working on some things, and the most recent reason for that being coming later in a different video, possibly tomorrow, even the later day after you see this one. Who knows? It'll be sometime this week, though. I'm trying to get back on my BS on this YouTube. You know, I'm trying to go crazy. I'm trying to go crazy on all avenues, and you know what I'm saying? So you'll see why in a later video. Hopefully you're excited for that, because I know I am. But I want to bring it back with something. You know, the finals just ended. Bron won his 4th ring in 10 tries. So people are really trying to push this narrative that he passed Mike. And I don't think so. People think just because you don't like Bron, you say you don't like, or you don't even say it. You say that he's not the GOAT. People always say, oh, you a hater. You Mike not even, all of that, you know, all of that nonsense. So I wanted to see, we reacting to Chris Smoove's thoughts on this video. I'm excited to see what he say, because he is. Chris Smoove is the GOAT of YouTube, and that's undeniable. So let's see what he got to say.
Has passed Michael Jordan as the GOAT, the greatest player of all time. There's tremendous hype for this 2020 title that LeBron and the Lakers just won, but it turns out that the 2020 finals against Jimmy Butler is actually going to hurt.
Shout out Jimbo, by the way. I'm so proud of my boy. Shout out Jimbo. Shout out my boy Jimmy Butler. I'm so proud of bro. You are always Chicago in my heart. And all the real Bulls fans. The real Bulls fans. The people that's not Bulls fans right now because we're sick and tired of losing and all of that. But we'll be back in 2030 when we finally win the chip. But shout out my boy Jimmy. He balled. And so did Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson for sure. And Bam, of course. But Bam already been a star. So.
Argument. Right now, the media is doing a lot of mental gymnastics to make the case for LeBron as the GOAT. But the one way that you know that he's not the GOAT is that they continue to exclude and just straight up ignore some of Jordan's accomplishments. And the arguments they're using against it are getting sillier and sillier. So we have to talk about it. There's just way too many excuses. You can't make excuses this.
The reason why they lost this series is because they was letting Rondo pull. You can't let Rondo pull. I don't care, bro. I'm sorry, Smoove, but we ain't running whoever offense in the finals. I know he's not a shooter, so you wouldn't, you know. I would have did something to combat that. Nah, you ain't got to put Iggy on him, but you got to get somebody up in his face.
Many times to explain every single time he doesn't get the job done. So we have to go over this again. Michael Jordan, his greatest accomplishments are some things that we may never see again. The standard, honestly, may just be too high. Michael Jordan is the only player in the discussion to win in the finals and never lose. And win multiple titles. Not just 1 or 2, but 3 or more. And he ended up winning 6 championships.
Never lost.
So when you look at all of the great history of the game, every single one of them has been in the finals and lost to somebody. Somebody else had a better finals than them, eliminated them, from Magic Johnson to Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaq, LeBron, Bill Russell, whoever you think is the GOAT, every single one of them has a loss in the finals. Michael Jordan is the only one that doesn't. But the biggest problem is that Michael Jordan also has one of the rarest accomplishments ever in sports, and that's the three-peat. That's when you win 3 years in a row. You win the NBA championship 3 consecutive years in a row, and Jordan didn't just do that once, he did it twice. In NBA history, there's only 4 teams that have completed the three-peat. Going all the way back to the 50s, you've got the Los Angeles Lakers. They got it done. You also have the Boston Celtics from the 50s to the 60s. They got it done. Then Jordan does it twice in the 90s. And then in 2000, the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq, they get it done. Now, this is a huge problem for LeBron James, obviously, because he's already lost in the finals, and he's lost a bunch of times.
He lost 6 times. He lost more times than he won, bro. How does that make you GOAT? And I don't make you the GOAT. I'm sorry. I don't understand when people always bring up the argument that rings don't matter. What do you play basketball for? To put the ball in the basket, right? And the object is to put the ball in the basket more times than your opponent. Am I not right? Is that not how basketball works? I'm pretty sure that's how it works. And what is the ultimate goal? What do you play an NBA season for? Oh, I thought so. To win a championship, right? So if you've done that more times than others, before I make that statement, though, before you go and say that Bill Russell and all these other guys got more rings than him, listen to what Smoove said. He never lost. He didn't lose any of those. Anytime he got to the finals, you could pretty much chalk it up as a W. Ain't no pretty much. It was a guaranteed win. Now, I continue on my statement with Bron. Mike won as many times as Bron lost in the finals. Going to the finals 10 times, that ain't nothing to balk about. That's pretty amazing. And that's the thing. Bron is very good, bro. He's amazing, but he's not the GOAT, bro. That's all people be saying. Everybody, that don't make you a hater. You don't have to, first of all, you don't have to like who everybody else likes. And it's just a free world. It might not feel that way, but it's a free world, a free country. You can do what you please. You could have your opinion. And if you do think Bron is the GOAT, feel free to have that opinion. Just know that you're wrong. That's all I'm saying.
He's lost 6 times. That's more than any of those other guys. Magic Johnson, Kobe, Duncan, all of them. None of them have 6 losses in the finals.
Talking that talk.
LeBron also doesn't have a three-peat. He had a chance to three-peat, but he failed.
Ad. You don't need that ad, bro.
Failed
miserably
in 2011. And then, of course, he lost in 2014. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But the good news for LeBron is that his career is not over. So if they can keep Anthony Davis, maybe he can go back-to-back and then try for a three-peat.
I don't see them winning 2 more times, period, let alone in a row after this year. You got Clay and them coming back. As much as I hate the Warriors, they're still a contender. They didn't lose. Well, yes, they did. They lost their bench mob before KD. That's part of the reason why they were so good. Their bench was really good. Now, their bench is going to kind of suck. But their core is still there. So they still going to be somebody you got to watch. KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn. We ain't seen them work together. We don't know how it's going to work. But it's a possibility that they could dethrone the Lakers. The Clippers, even though they choked, are still going to be there. Miami might lure in a superstar. They might still be there. Giannis might be gone. Slide to Milwaukee. There you go. There go the piece you need right there. And if he do stay in Milwaukee, of course, they still, if they can find some Giannis pieces. I heard he's trying to get CP3 out there. That might work. We don't know. But their time was closing in. I said it before the season. If Bron was gonna get another ring, this will have to be the year because it's the easiest year, and then the bubble made it easier. Don't let them fool you. The bubble basketball, it was harder because everybody's locked in, but it's easier for you to lock in too at the same time. So I think that offsets each other. But yeah, it was a lot of excuses. I don't think anything should be taken away from this ring by any means, no matter who would have won it. This is still a ring, no ashes by it. No ring has ashes by it. If you won it, you won. I don't care. Not even last year. Yeah, KD got hurt, but it's their fault. It's KD's fault for getting hurt. You can't blame the Raptors. You can't blame Kawhi. He did what he did, the job that was in front of him.
Right here at the end of his career, 1 three-peat would be better than no three-peats. But Jordan has 2 three-peats. So the media realizes that they need to get rid of these 6 rings and this 3-peat, the 2 three-peats, because you can't compete with that. So they make up these silly arguments. And one of the first arguments that started coming out was, well, LeBron never lost in the first round of the playoffs. Now, I don't know how the first round of the playoffs is more important than the NBA Finals. That makes absolutely no sense. Any intelligent person can see that, but people have been eating this up. This argument up. They've been eating it up. Then they go on to say that Jordan, he lost in the playoffs 9 times. He didn't win every year. He lost. It took him this many years to start winning.
Right.
But that argument doesn't even help LeBron because LeBron lost 13 times. How is 13 season?
He got destroyed by the Spurs when he was in Cleveland that first time. Yeah, his team was weak. But so what? You made it. If you was that good enough to make it there, I don't see why you couldn't have won. And you see what Jimmy did this year with his team. I don't want to say his team's full of bums. They obviously not. They made it this far. But besides Tyler, Duncan, they not proven. Yeah, they had their games or whatever, but they ain't doing this consistently. Yeah, I hope they do get there because I would love to see this team win the chip. I hope this team don't get broken up. But he loses all the time, and then there's these asterisks by his losses because his team wasn't that good. And then when you say he joined a super team, that's going to be their reason for saying he joined a super team because he couldn't get it done by himself. Draft your team. Draft talent. Do what the Warriors did. As much as I hate them, I'll say it again. They might be cheaters, but they drafted their cheat codes, besides KD.
Seasons where you don't win a championship, better than 9 seasons where you don't win a championship. LeBron, this is year 17. He just won his 4th ring, so he's 4 of 17. And Jordan is 6
That's
of
even worse
15.
than 4 and 10. 6
the
to
percentage
15, right?
is clearly higher and better for Michael Jordan, 15. So I don't even know why this gets brought up.
Right, if you know
and
math.
And then there's an obvious, glaring mathematical problem. Michael Jordan played 15 seasons and he won 6 rings. LeBron James just finished year 17 and he has 4 rings. How can a guy that accomplished more in fewer seasons be behind? The reason why there's an NBA season every year is because all of the teams are trying to win a championship.
Shout out AD and Taylor, though. And Kendrick, too. I'm a Chicago boy. Shout out y'all. But I'm not mad at y'all. I'm just mad at everybody else. I'm not mad at nobody besides Alex Caruso, really, because I don't like him. Grow some hair, bro. Become a chia pet or something. Do something, bro. Or just go bald, dude. Come on, bro. Shout out Henny, too.
Nobody is going into the season saying, hey, we just need to win in the first round. Teams are not making all of these blockbuster trades. They're not signing all these guys in free agency. They're not paying millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars for these contracts so that they can go to the first round and win in the first round. They're doing it so that at the end of the season, they can hoist up the trophy as the winner. There would be no NBA season if there was no ring to win. That's why everybody's playing. Everybody's goal is to win the ring. That's why the finals record is more important than all that other stuff. Because in the NBA finals, when you're so close to a ring, you're going to see amazing things. Players are hungry for that championship. They're going to leave it all on the floor, and Jimmy Butler showed that this year. The Miami Heat were supposed to get swept. The Miami Heat were clearly overmatched.
Even I didn't have any confidence in them.
The betting odds. Nobody thought that the Heat were going to win. The only people that thought the Heat would win the finals were Heat fans. And at the start of the season, the Heat weren't even in the discussion for teams that people thought would get to the finals and win the finals. Jimmy Butler played the best basketball of his career in these finals. He got his first ever triple-double. He got 2 triple-doubles, a 40-point triple-double and a 35-point triple-double.
Hey, bro, by the way, I'm putting Joel Anthony up in front of Bron in my go-kart conversation. It's Bron. Okay, we're going to go from bottom up. Bron, Joel Anthony, and then Mike. Joel Anthony is better than Bron. Clip that.
The team was injured. He had 2 starters, Bam and Dragic, that were not playing.
No bad.
And he had to do all that by himself. He had to carry the team, and yet even he, under all of these odds and circumstances, even he didn't get swept. He was able to win not 1 but 2 games against a team that's clearly much better than his. This is important because every time LeBron James loses in the finals, they start making excuses. They start saying, that's the greatest team we've ever seen. Michael Jordan never faced a team that was that good, and it's just laughable. They even go as far as to say that Michael Jordan had a Hall of Fame coach, so that's why he was able to win. But you can't erase history. The 2011 Dallas Mavericks, that is not the greatest team we've ever seen. Michael Jordan has played better teams than that in the finals. And the coach, Eric Spoelstra, is not why LeBron lost in 2011. Eric Spoelstra is a terrific coach.
As you can see.
That's exactly why the Heat were in the finals this season.
Right.
And LeBron was able to win with Eric Spoelstra the next year and the year after that. So how can you say something like, he didn't have a Hall of Fame coach, his coaches were trash? In 2011, Dirk was in trouble of becoming one of those NBA players that has a terrific career but never wins the championship. And when he got back to the finals in 2011, he didn't want to let that opportunity go to waste because he already lost in 06 against the Heat. He wanted to get his revenge. He was playing out of his mind, and so was the team. In the finals, you're going to see amazing basketball. That's why the finals are so important.
Was cooking Bron in that
LeBron doesn't just have one finals loss. He also has two sweeps in the finals. He's the only player in this discussion that got swept twice in the finals. We've already seen Jimmy Butler avoid a sweep, but even back then when it happened, I talked about little Allen Iverson. He took down the Los Angeles Lakers. He avoided a sweep from the Lakers that didn't lose a single game in the playoffs. He put up the game of his life, 40-something points. He does the iconic step over Ty Lue when he hits that shot along the baseline. Even Allen Iverson avoided a sweep against a team where he was clearly overmatched. Lakers, one of the best teams we've ever seen. Even Iverson had the greatness to avoid that sweep. And that 76ers team, they had nobody helping Iverson score. He was the only guy that could really score.
Literally,
so there's just no excuses.
Literally
in 2018,
like this team was Jimmy and the boys. That was
people say, "Oh, the Warriors are the greatest team ever." But in the round just before that, they went 7 games against the Houston Rockets. How did the Rockets avoid the sweep? How did they win 3 games? And then in the semifinals, the round before that, the Warriors lost a game to the Pelicans. How did the Pelicans beat the Warriors in a series? And then in the first round, the Spurs beat the Warriors. And the Spurs had injuries. They were missing players, and they still managed to win a game. So there's no excuse for LeBron to get swept in those finals. If all of those teams could win 1 game against this Warriors team, then how come the greatest player ever can't win a game in the finals? Then in 2007, he gets swept again. And people make an excuse, well, LeBron, he was really young, his team wasn't that good. But guess what? Magic Johnson, as a rookie, won in the NBA Finals his first year. His team was injured. He started at center. And he won the finals. That was greatness for Magic Johnson.
And then people got the audacity to put him in the Lakers Hall of Fame already after 2 seasons there, or is this his third? 2 or 3 seasons there and 1 title. This was after last year. They did not even make the playoffs. Okay. Yeah, he was hurt for most of last season, but so what? That means nothing to me. Nothing at all. Not a thing.
James getting swept in 2007, it wasn't because of the coach. It was because he didn't develop a jump shot yet. If you go back and watch the 2007 finals, you're going to see that LeBron, they were leaving him open. They were telling him, look, take that mid-range, take that 3. We're not going to guard you. We're not letting you get into the paint. You're not going to get layups. You're not going to get dunks. And his game was not developed yet. But you can't say it's because he's young, because Magic Johnson won the finals as a rookie. And he was younger than LeBron when LeBron was in the finals in 2007. Magic Johnson was 20 years old when he did that. And I'm not saying that LeBron is supposed to beat that Spurs team with that Cavs team, but there's no excuse for the sweep. The sweep is unacceptable. Jimmy Butler didn't get swept, and he had a bunch of injuries, and the Lakers were way better. And then guess what? There's still another Hall of Fame career of accomplishments that Michael Jordan has that LeBron James may never achieve. Michael Jordan got the Defensive Player of the Year award. I don't think LeBron is going to be able to get that at this point in his career. If he hasn't won it already, why would he be able to get it now when his defense isn't as good as it was when he was younger? And one thing's for sure, you're never going to see a viral clip of a Michael Jordan teammate pushing Jordan to go contest the shot. Do you guys remember last season when Kyle Kuzma, he pushed LeBron James to go guard a shot on the perimeter because LeBron wasn't rotating?
Even Kuz know you ain't the GOAT, bro. You know, how can you be the greatest player
ever of all time?
Bro, if you watch any of Lakers game this season, I kid you not, Quinn Cook, AD, Kuz, they all so happy to be a part of this team. They were just along for the ride this year, bro. Besides AD wasn't along for the ride. He actually willed this team. Up until the playoffs, even up until this series, AD was the best player on this Lakers team. No cap. And you can't argue with me because I'm not listening. You're going to lose that argument. But I'm saying, though, they so happy to be on that team. That's why, bro, part of me didn't want them to win strictly because I don't like his supporting cast, bro. They just all seem so happy to be there type. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't do anything all season, but you got a ring. Especially J.R. Smith, but I ain't going to cap on him because that's my guy. He didn't touch the floor for more than 5 minutes in the finals, and he was the first one to touch that trophy when they won it. But hey, do your thing, bro. You won it, you part of the team, it's all good. I just always notice, like, at the end of every game, they be right there after AD and LeBron is done with the post-game conference. They be cheesing, ready to shake up, throw up something that they not even about. Like, I be paying attention to all that. I just didn't like it. That's why I didn't want them to win. I knew they were going to win. The team was obviously way better. It's Bron. He's not going to continue to lose. Because if he would have lost and went 3-7 in the finals, that would have been the end of the discussion right there. That would have been it.
And you have Kyle Kuzma, a scrub, pushing you to go play some defense.
Called him a scrub.
Kyle Kuzma is a terrible defender. They've been running whoever offense on Kuzma the entire playoffs, and even he knew that LeBron wasn't playing defense on that play and pushed him to go play defense. Michael Jordan has 9 all-defensive first-team selections. LeBron James only has 5. Michael Jordan has 10 scoring titles. LeBron only has 1. Michael Jordan led the league in steals 3 years. LeBron has never done that.
Never.
And this video is running way too long. And there's still so much more to say, and I'm sure that the arguments are going to get sillier and sillier. But the best thing to do is to just wait until LeBron retires. And when he does, come back and do a straight-up tally system. Look at everything they've both done and tally it up. Old school style, like you're at school, like you're in kindergarten. The Jordan standard is just so difficult to overcome because he did all of this for the team that he got drafted by.
That's what I'm saying.
We saw Kobe get 5 rings for the Lakers. We saw Duncan get 5 rings for the Spurs. And we're seeing right now the only other guys that are close that are winning for the team that they got drafted by. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson for the Warriors. And they had to develop into historic players to be able to win the championship. Curry had to turn into the greatest three-point shooter we've ever seen.
Who would have thought? Thompson, but I got a story about that later.
So they had to develop, and then they did what every team is trying to do. You're trying to develop your players from the draft, and because they're young players, their contracts aren't as expensive, so then you have cap space, and you go and get the big free agent in Kevin Durant or whoever. Right now, Curry and Klay, they've got 3 rings. Maybe they can win some more. But they even have some losses in the finals. So that Jordan standard, it might be too high. Even with the three-peat, the Warriors, they weren't able to do it. Because every year, the league changes. Other teams are getting better. Your team is getting worse. Remember the Warriors, when they first started, their slogan was strength in numbers. They had the best bench in the league.
See what I'm saying?
But then at the end of that 5-year stretch, their bench was no longer their strong suit. Guys like Sean Livingston, they weren't as good as they were in their prime. They lost guys like Barbosa. It's so hard to keep that dominance for so long, and that's another thing that just makes what Jordan did so impressive. This is a pretty long video. I might as well just end it here. I mean, there's more to talk about, but you get the idea. You understand why the media narrative, it just doesn't make sense. And as more silly narratives come out, I'll just have to talk about it again in the future. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Give me your arguments for LeBron, against LeBron. fumble! Big boy Reggie!
Now, like I was saying, what was funny about the Warriors situation, I kid you not, the year before they got really good and they fired Mark Jackson and got Steve Kerr up in there, I was playing my career. Whatever year, I want to say that was either 2K13 or 14. I forgot which one it is. I played for the Bulls. My player played for the Bulls. But I kid you not. This was before they even got good. This was a year before Steph turned up. We get to the finals. I'm on the Bulls. And I checked, you know how when you in the finals on 2K, they bring up the screen and you can see the road to the finals and see how teams got there. I see the Warriors made it all the way to the finals, bro. And this was, I kid you not, I swear on my life, this was before they got really good, dude. This was before their run. They made it to the finals. And I'm like, the Warriors, who on this team? Why are they here? How did they get to the finals, dude? And, bro, I'm telling you, of course we won, but they took us to 7 games. Because Steph was out here hitting some off the chain stuff. I just found it crazy to believe that's how I know everything is rigged, bro. You can't fool me. All these sports and stuff is rigged, especially now since I'm in Vegas and I can see the numbers and stuff like that. I know for a fact. There's even a movie about it. I forgot what it's called. About somebody rigging the Celtics games for some bread. I forgot what that movie is called. You might have seen it. If you know, let me know in the comment section. But it just blew my mind that the Warriors made it to the finals in 2K and then they turned up and make it to the finals in real life. I just always think about that every time I think about them. But yeah, bro, that's pretty much the video. That's the gist of it. I just wanted to get that out there. Wanted to drop some content. It's been a minute. But like I said, I'm going to be showing you guys why I've been away, what I've been doing. In the later video, hope you enjoyed. Mike is still a GOAT and he will forever always be. That's it. I holla. Subscribe. Get mama.